By the end of this video you'll understand why the entire AI industry just shifted into damage control mode and why that matters more than any breakthrough you'll hear about this year. This week we have Google allegedly cutting SpaceX an $11 billion annual check for compute services that probably don't exist, OpenAI launching a security feature that openly admits it doesn't actually provide security, and a coding agent that trades accuracy for speed in the worst possible way. Let's get into it. First up, the story that should make every tech journalist's BS detector go absolutely nuclear. According to reports, Google is supposedly paying SpaceX $920 million per month for compute services. That's $11 billion annually, which for context is roughly what Amazon Web Services made in profit last year. This would instantly make SpaceX's alleged compute business larger than most Fortune 500 companies' entire revenue. But here's the problem. SpaceX builds rockets and satellites. Their core competency is launching things into space, not running data centers. The newsletter rates this story at only 15% real, and that credibility rating is being generous. To actually support a $920 million monthly compute contract, SpaceX would need to operate roughly 50 to 100 hyperscale data centers. That's more infrastructure than Microsoft Azure has globally. The most charitable interpretation is that this might be bundled satellite internet costs for Google's global operations, inflated through creative accounting. More likely, someone confused SpaceX with an actual cloud provider, or we're looking at the result of a very creative press release writer having a very bad day. But this story reveals something crucial about where we are in the AI hype cycle. When companies start making claims this disconnected from operational reality, it usually means the fundamentals aren't as strong as the marketing suggests. Before I get into the next story, I want your hot take on this. Comment below, do you think tech companies are getting desperate enough to fabricate partnerships, or is there something we're missing about SpaceX's actual capabilities? Now let's talk about OpenAI's latest security theater. They announced something called Lockdown Mode 2, and I quote, reduce the likelihood of prompt injection attacks on sensitive enterprise data. Notice they said reduce likelihood, not prevent or eliminate. That's like calling a screen door a security system. Prompt injection attacks work by tricking AI models into ignoring their instructions through cleverly crafted inputs. It's the AI equivalent of SQL injection, except it's harder to patch because the vulnerability is baked into how language models fundamentally work. OpenAI's solution appears to be additional filtering layers and monitoring, which is basically putting a bouncer outside a club with no walls. The real tell is that they're still admitting the system remains vulnerable. Any enterprise security officer reading reduced likelihood will immediately translate that to still hackable, just with extra steps. When you're calling something lockdown mode but can't guarantee it actually locks anything down, you're essentially selling security theater with a premium price tag. This connects to our third story in a way that should terrify anyone betting on AI productivity gains. Cohere open-sourced something called North Mini Code, a coding agent that runs on a single graphics card and promises to democratize AI development. The efficiency gains are real. 1 GPU versus the server farms that power Claude or ChatGPT. But here's the catch buried in their own metrics. It generates 3 times more errors than managed models like Claude. So yes, you can run it locally and save on API costs, but you'll spend those savings debugging the garbage it produces. It's like buying a sports car that goes 200 miles per hour but the steering wheel falls off every third turn. The open source community will probably love it anyway. Because at least we can fix it ourselves is the rallying cry of developers who enjoy pain. Drop your hot take in the comments, would you rather pay for accuracy or own your mistakes? Because that seems to be the choice we're getting. Here's the thread connecting all 3 stories, and it's the most important shift happening in AI right now. Every single company is pivoting from capability theater to efficiency theater. SpaceX allegedly offering compute they probably don't have. OpenAI selling security that admittedly doesn't work. Cohere trading accuracy for speed and calling it democratization. This isn't coincidence. This is coordinated damage control. The AI industry has hit a wall that nobody wants to admit publicly. The easy gains from scaling are mostly exhausted. The next breakthrough isn't coming from throwing more compute at the problem. So instead of admitting that progress has slowed, companies are changing the conversation. Now it's about efficiency, cost savings, local deployment, security theater. Anything except the fundamental question of whether these models are actually getting meaningfully better at the tasks we need them for. Amazon's engineers are calling their own AI coding tool Sloppenheimer on internal Slack channels, which tells you everything about where we really are in the great AI productivity theater of 2026. When the people building these tools are making jokes about their quality, maybe it's time to question the marketing department selling them as revolutionary. If you want the full breakdown every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, completely free, I go 1,000 words deep in Overfitted. Link in the description. No fluff, no hype. Just reality checks on what's actually happening in AI while everyone else is selling you dreams. If you found this useful, smash that like button and share it with someone who needs a reality check on AI. And subscribe so you don't miss next week when I dive into why Microsoft's latest AI agent announcement might be the most honest thing any tech company has said about AI this year, which should tell you exactly how low the bar has gotten. If every AI company is now selling efficiency over capability, what does that tell us about the real state of AI progress right now?